Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of our podcast called Live on Mars. As you know, we are Fara and Fernando. Now, in chapter 3, we're going to discuss how our society and culture can be a problem to colonize Mars. Now, I give the floor to Fernando.
Thanks, Farah. As when we always say, we need to know some concepts about a topic like society, time, and technology.
Now, a society or human society is a group of people involved with each other through persistent relations, or a large social grouping of sharing the same geographical or social territory, typically subject to the same political authority and dominant cultural expectations.
Time can be considered to be the fourth dimension of reality, used to describe events in three-dimensional space. It is not something we can see, touch, or taste, but we can measure its passage.
And finally, technology refers to methods, systems, and devices which are the result of scientific knowledge and being used for practical purposes. Technology is charging very fast. They should be allowed to wait for cheaper technologies to be developed.
If we go back in time, our society has drastically changed since prehistoric times thanks to all the technology that humanity has been developing for a lot of time just to improve our innovate. However, there are things that are the same.
The first thing that human does when he arrives somewhere is to dive and explore it. That way he can see with his own eyes how the place is, how he can make this place better, and what is missing to make this place perfect for him and his community.
In the past, humans practiced different techniques of harvesting, irrigation, hunting, fishing, etc. that they were constructing their tradition and culture. Those techniques were positive because they feed a whole community thanks to those activities, some of them in a collaborative way. Also, this practice makes them men and women become stronger, smarter, and more thinkers to do other things.
The way humans interact with the environment depends on how the earth is going to develop in the future. That's why currently Earth is contaminated, wasted, and subdued.
Our actions in the past years haven't been friendly with the environment, and we are not reflecting about what is going to happen in the next years. Only 3 months missing to 2022, and still, people are contaminating the earth and humanity is at risk. In addition to the many species of animals that are become extinct.
In my opinion, if we successfully establish a colony on Mars, humanity can progress, but we have to be very careful, organized, and have a plan so everything goes out right. Also, the colony who is Mars, since the first day, have to explore and take care of this new planet that NASA is exploring and invading.
The first visit to Mars will involve small teams of astronauts who will stay there for a limited amount of time. They will have a clear mission, aims, and claims of command. However, further into the future, we will see long-term or permanent, large-scale communities being established on Mars.
These communities will have to be actively organized in order to meet the exciting demands of maintaining life on Mars. Technical, physical, and psychological and social demands. Any colony on Mars will grow from the crews sent from Earth. It is possible that these crews could be part of a national or military organizations and such as will be likely to have a hierarchically structure and common systems. If we initial crew was part of a commercial initiative, then those common structures be less relied. In either case, once a colony is established on Mars, the colonies may have to rethink how they are organized and how they govern themselves, as structures that were adopted on Earth may become less relevant with time.
So, how could humans go about designing a blueprint for a completely new civilization? At what point will humans think on themselves on Martians rather than Earthings? We can answer this question here, of course, but we offered a few prompts for later discussions. The human race has a long history of exploration, new lines, and establishing new colonies. Will our approach to Mars be any different, and what can we learn from past human endeavors? Early settlers may have a common structure enforced of them through their existing rules and organization structures on Earth.
Will this survive in the long term? What will be the structures be appropriate for the Mars colony? As the Mars mission evolves from a being mission to settlement, at one point will colonists begin to view Mars as their new home rather than as somewhere they are visiting? How does shifting the perception impact the social structures might be in the place? Will the colonies learn from its history and look what the forms of society have been the most productive in the past? The colonies are certain to be drawn from a wide variety of cultures.
How will this influence the type of society that is set up? Will a new Martian culture evolve from the diverse cultures coming together? In the longer term, new generation of human Martians may be born on Mars and will know no other life. What will the influence of Earth be on those colonies? Will the owner Martians strive for Martian independence?
Building a Mars colony is on everyone's mind. SpaceX is testing a Mars Starship prototype. Jeff Bezos is funding a lunar gateway for manned Mars missions. Humans are certainly getting closer to step foot on the red planet. However, eager to start a Mars settlement as we may be, we have to answer a few questions before we can get there. This goes further than starships and habitat life support systems. It includes ethical questions for new scenarios and no human has been faced with before. How do we establish a society on a planet? How will that society will work?
These are concepts Conrad Socrates and his team explore in Visions of a Martian Future. Socrates' team of researchers use Earth history as a guide to answer these questions. Making a Mars colony successful depends on how we decide to overtake these challenges. Humans evolve on Earth, not Mars. This starts our journey with our first deep ethical questions.
Should we go as we are more than Mars to support us? Or should we have enhanced humans now to make us more adapted for Mars? Modifying the human body always bring up a lot of spicy ethical debates. A Mars colony may be the catalyst we need to really grow the consequences for a human gene editing and robotic enhancements. It could mean altering the genes of the first Mars settlers.
but no matter how we prepare them, making Mars support human life will still take centuries. This leaves the settlers living in Mars dependent habitats for the first few generations. Independence from Earth could call for using properly Martian resources. The time scale need for a Mars settlement includes looking at resources consumption. Mars has been fewer usable resources than Earth, using growth patterns on Earth as a model. Mars, the world will soon face a problem we're barely starting to see on Earth. There is determined a Mars society will run out of resources in a couple centuries. That means that a truly independent Mars colony probably has an expiration date. Unless, of course, we make some drastic change.
On Earth, it's easy for us to get stuck investigating in ourselves, not because of the perceived promises to future kin. This is what the team calls depth egoism. The team suggests that colonies investments in the future will take sacrifices now. The Mars develop the worlds will be living for generations. They'll never meet. The team calls this depth attribution about the goal is making a Mars-based society last more than a couple centuries. The deep egoism is driving mass ambitious sent to humans to Mars. Within this decade, just wouldn't cut it.
Alternatively, the deep altruism in the teams through experiments brought up a different dilemma. Humans have not yet found solutions to our current Earth struggles. The authors are concerned that efforts redirect from Earth to found and build a Mars colony may not await the scientific and technological advances gained. Altruism brings up a lot of interesting challenges from the Martian society, too. The Mars colony needs to keep its citizens free, while inspiring them to make choices and benefit everyone.
This idea back up an interesting topic for the team, religion. Despite the rather dark history religion has on Earth, there may be a benefit to Mars religion. Developing a new religion may be critical along to time Martian society. The astronauts who live on Mars will have to bear and weight or heavy sacrifices to things we take for granted. Social and work life, family, diet, and personal space will be owned by colonies who haven't even boarded yet. The authors that the relation might give them a reason for why they are doing it and prevent the blows from morally.
Of course, there isn't any way of knowing how humans will respond to such a massive undertaking. A Mars colony is a awfully goal. It's okay if we don't have all the answers yet. Humanity is good at finding ways to endure, but dreaming of future Mars settlements may prove helpful to improving our life on Mars now.
Thank you for listening to this podcast and see you on a new episode of Live on Mars. Bye.